I'm talking with Bob Cowan.
I was in the Navy for 6 years as an ordinary seaman, able seaman, leading seaman, petty officer. My destroyer was sunk in 1941.
What was it called?
After the Bismarck was sunk. 28th of May 1941.
Where?
It was about 200 miles south of Ireland. And the German bombers came out from the coast of west coast of France in threes, dropping bombs in front and on each side. So whichever way the captain turned the boat, we were going to be hit, and we sank within about 15 minutes of the attack. I swam in the sea for about half an hour before I was picked up. The crew was about 200 and there was 46 deaths. 46 dead. In 1942 I was back on the destroyer HMS Ashanti. And it was on the Ashanti that we did the convoys PQ-16 and PQ-18. I actually landed in Murmansk, North Russia. And at that time I could hear the gunfire. The war was coming from the Germans, about 30 miles away. I could hear the gunfire. And on the way back, we travelled as far north as we could, allowing for the ice flows, to avoid being torpedoed. And our captain was leading the I don't know what the term is now, was leading the destroyers. And because we dropped all our depth charges, we changed places with one of the other destroyers. And 10 minutes later, that destroyer was torpedoed. We towed it back, hoping to reach Iceland. And the sea got very, very rough on the way to Iceland. And the destroyer we were towing broke up in half. There weren't a lot of survivors. We'd taken a lot. All that was left, we only left a crew on that was able to keep the boat stable. So when it broke up, there weren't that many in the sea, but I think most of them were lost.
What was it like on the Arctic? Can you describe?
What was it like?
Yeah.
Hell. It was hell. The ships that we were escorting with food and supplies to Russia were just being torpedoed right, left and centre. It was really... We were in the same situation. We could have been torpedoed, as I say. On the return journey, one of our destroyers was torpedoed. It was hell. But one of the memories, we were on deck and they brought up a urn of cocoa, hot cocoa, and it's all very vivid because you filled your mug, and if you just tipped it up slightly, it hit the deck and bounced. It had frozen on the way down. That's how cold it was. Well, I did the Malta Convoy. The Malta Convoy was murder, and we took the last supply ship in. We escorted in. It sank on the bottom at Jib, not at Jib, at Malta. And we took that one in. And that was life and death. They threw everything at us. Planes, submarines, I think motor torpedo boats, there was all the lot, and the merchant ships. I've got a picture somewhere of one of the merchant ships which was holed, and there was oil pouring out on the sea, and the crew were swimming, or trying to swim on top of burning oil. I saw that. It was really horrible. I've seen it all, Bernard.
You have, haven't you?
Eh?
You have.
But it does, I think it turns your life upside down. It really does. You become fearless, in a way. I have something which people didn't have the experience I had. They don't get, they never will get it. They won't get it. It's a living experience, it's a life experience. You don't read it in books, you don't learn it. You just experience it. I had one, when this destroyer broke up, there were men floating on rafts in the water, and I had a line with a hook, and I hooked his raft and started to pull him. I was in the forecastle up at the front, started to pull him down to where they could pick him up, and it was bouncing up, and I can't hold this anymore. So foolishly, I fastened it to a guardrail, and the weight snapped it. Whether they got him, I think they probably did lower down. But it's experiences like that, you know, it's life and death. What I've been trying to tell you, after you've been sunk once, your whole outlook on life changes. We lost a lot of ships. I was on a destroyer. Really, the battle was against the German submarines. They were just firing torpedoes off, right, left and centre.
Winston Churchill called it the worst journey of the Second World War, delivering supplies to the Russian allies across semi-frozen seas, crawling with German warships and submarines. Bob Cowan served on the Arctic Convoys, and this year his bravery has been recognised by Russia, who now want to award him the Ushakov Medal for valour.
The Ushakov Medal is being awarded for extraordinary gallantry in naval operations. All the veterans of the Arctic Convoys have been granted Ushakov Medal by decree of the Russian President in April this year.
But because Bob's bravery didn't take place in the past 5 years, the British government aren't allowing him and the 800 plus other veterans to accept the medal. But there might be hope in the Military Medals Review, commissioned by the Prime Minister this year. The government's response is expected soon. It may just mean that Bob and his comrades get the medals that Russia thinks they obviously deserve. Tim Scott, Granada reports in Manchester.
But could my right honourable friend also tell me what progress has been made by Sir John Holmes in his reviews of medals, especially for those who served on the Arctic Convoy with bravery and independence?
Well, I thank my honourable friend for his remarks about our troops. On this issue of medals, which has gone on for a very long time, I'm delighted to be able to tell the House that we have reached a resolution. On the Arctic Convoys, Sir John has recommended, and I fully agree, there will be an Arctic Convoy Star Medal. I am very pleased that some of the brave men of the Arctic Convoys will get the recognition they so richly deserve for the very dangerous work they did.